Okay, let's talk about Iceland. So today I'm going to be talking about the best 5 things to do in Iceland. I was there for about 5 days and we did do a ton of stuff. So I'm gonna put the 5 that I think are the best things to do in Iceland, the prices, facts you need to know about them, basically anything that's like important to that place. Okay, so I'm ranking these in no specific order, so take it as you will. The first one on my list is the Blue Lagoon. So the Blue Lagoon was the first one that we went to on our trip. It was awesome. It was so warm. It was all natural springs from underground. When you buy the package for the Blue Lagoon, you automatically get a free mask and a free drink, which is really nice. And you only have to be 18 in Iceland to drink legally if you're not 21 yet. My advice would be to go early though. We were like one of the first ones there when they opened, and you could see how quickly it fills up and how crowded it gets, but we were there like, I want to say like 8 to 9:30, 8 to 10, and it was like perfect. There was only a few other people in there besides us, but I have seen videos on the internet where like people go in the middle of the day and it's so crowded you can't even swim around. Another little tip for the Blue Lagoon would be to put conditioner in your hair. They do tell you to do this, but like some people forget. Not just for girls, but also guys. Like make sure if you're thinking about like dunking your head or going under anything, definitely put conditioner in your hair, because the way that like the minerals are or whatever in the springs, it really dries out your hair and it could damage it for a little while. One of the best things about the Blue Lagoon, just to wrap it up, is that you have unlimited time in there, so you could spend all day long in there if you want. It's like the perfect place to be, and it's just like a really cute like touristy thing to do. Okay, another thing on my list is the Sky Lagoon. So previously I covered the Blue Lagoon, and this is similar to that, except I personally think I like the Sky Lagoon better because it's not as much as like a touristy spot as the Blue Lagoon. And if you pay extra money, I think it was, I'm not exactly sure. I'll like put it in below if I can find it. I want to say it was like $30 extra, I want to say. And if you pay that extra money, you get to do what's called like their 7-step ritual, which includes like a cold plunge, like going in the lagoon. You get to do like this mask all over like your body, like this exfoliating mask. You get to do all these like saunas and everything like that. It's like honestly one of the best things that we did all trip. It was like, especially if you're tired near the end of your trip, this is like a perfect day just to like relax in the Sky Lagoon. One of the cool things about the Sky Lagoon is that it's an infinity pool and it looks over like the ocean. So if it's like a clear day, you could just like lay in this really warm, hot spring and look over the ocean and just look for like seals and whales and everything that they have there. A little bit more, I'm pretty sure, if you get like that 7-step ritual, but I'll be sure to like add that in if I figure that out. Okay, so this next one we actually didn't do, but if I were to go back to Iceland again, which I would absolutely love to, I think we're actually going to try to go back again. I think what we will end up paying for is either a puffin tour or a whale watching tour. There's like a ton of wildlife in Iceland. You just have to know where to look for it. And so like a puffin is like the Icelandic bird. We unfortunately didn't see any puffins or whales, but we were thinking about doing it on our last day, but it just didn't make sense like financially and with us like trying to figure out our flight and everything. But again, another piece of advice I would give is schedule the whale watching tour, the puffin tour, the very first day that you're there, because they have this policy that we didn't see until like the end, that if you pay for it and you don't see any of those while you're out there like on tour, they will refund you all your money and you get to come back the next day until you see them. Like you get to come back as many days as you're there until you see what you paid for, essentially. So it's really like not a ripoff at all. And I would absolutely love to do that. And I think I'll definitely be paying for that. So this one, just from TripAdvisor says it's $87 per person, which really isn't any more than we paid for like the lagoons and everything. So I think that would be a great thing to hit on your way to Iceland. Okay, the next one that I have on my list is horseback riding. It is a little bit more expensive. It's, I think, $100 or so per person, but you're on the horse for 2 hours. They stop, they take pictures of you, you can take videos. You get complimentary like drinks, hot cocoa, you get rain jackets and rain boots to put on while you're wearing. So overall it's like a great experience. And if you're like a more advanced rider or whatever, you get to go on like a different trail than with the rest of us who don't know how to ride a horse. But overall, I would say horseback riding is like one of the coolest experiences, to see just like the countryside from like a different view. Okay, the last one on my list is the Golden Circle. So the Golden Circle actually is free for the most part. I mean, the only thing that you need to get to the Golden Circle is a car. So if you rented a car, like whatever that cost is, and then also like you have to pay for parking at some of the spots, which our most expensive place to park was $6. Just to explain the Golden Circle, it consists of like 3 different main spots. So it's the Golf Falls waterfall, the geyser, and then Thingvellir National Park. Hopefully I'm saying that right. So basically I'll put in clips again of what each of them look like. They are a little bit of a drive from each other, but not far at all, like 10 to 15 minutes each. So they're just like natural things in Iceland. If you do take like the route that they suggest, it does take around 3 hours if you take the shortest route. It's about like 140 miles, I think. So, I mean, you don't have to hit all of them. Obviously, like you're not paying for it if you decide to skip on one but hit the other one. But it is cool to see like the variety that Iceland has with all their landscape. So that concludes the end of my vlog. These were my top 5 things to do in Iceland. I do have more videos coming from Iceland because I just loved it there so much. So I do have a few more vlogs that I'm going to be posting. So stay tuned for those, and I'll see you guys soon.